And welcome back, dear ladies and gentlemen. As always, I'm your host, Lightliger here, and today we are going to be talking about Cardano. And I was asked by one of my subscribers, what are going to be those big projects on Cardano once the smart contracts are going to be launching in a month or so, unless there's going to be delays again. So I decided to do a video where I would be featuring different DeFi projects, launchpads, NFTs, marketplaces, social media, the ones that I basically found out that are most promising out of the bunch. And there's a bit of competition among these niches, so who knows which ones are going to be coming top. Maybe I get these things right, or maybe I get them wrong. As a reminder, not a financial advisor, and also not all of these projects are exactly investable. Some of them don't have their own tokens, but then again, that could mean that they might do an airdrop for their early users, so you really want to keep your eyes on these players. But let's get started. So the first thing we have here is SundaySwap, which is basically trying to become a DEX on the Cardano blockchain, and to my understanding this is going to be an AMM protocol, not actually spot trading DEX. I could be wrong about that, but SundaySwap has been kind of the name that has been popping out. I kind of like their graphical interface here and style, which is very reminiscent of PancakeSwap, kind of similar fonts, if not the exact same font here. And then they have these, cute creatures, and I think that's going to be appealing to millennials like me, also in Zoomers. But there's obviously going to be interfaces which are going to be very tech savvy type of niche, and everybody has their own preferences obviously. But SundaySwap has been featured by many, and I think there's going to be big chances that they are going to be the kind of go-to-go DEX. I could be wrong. And they do have already community channels and a lot of tech updates. I think they had like some type of deck demo also available in case I wasn't, in case I'm not wrong. But SundaySwap, in terms of the DEX players in the space, is one that I would keep my eyes on. But let's move on. Another one is called Adax, and this is another basically decentralized exchange building on Adax. They are also going to be having that Cardano ERC converter, basically meaning that you have a token on Ethereum, let's say Chainlink, and now you can migrate Chainlink into Cardano with this bridge, which to my understanding is going to be trustless and everything. So it's going to be like doing a copy of the coin into another chain. This is a very wanted feature. It's a lot of very important in the sense that people want to move perhaps from Ethereum into Cardano with their project because they believe the scalability of this project and all together. So that's something that could be a big player obviously in the space. And then you have this sort of a DEX in the same thing, and the fees seem pretty normal to me when I look at it. And here's a bit of like the ecosystem, cross-chain bridges, smart contracts, what they are basically building. So there's phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, basically what they are deciding and wanting to basically build out. Cross-chain support, that's something that sounds pretty interesting to me, for instance. And there's actually a team here with LinkedIn profiles, so that's pretty nice as well. But let's move on. Then we have another one that has very powerful community, at least based on Reddit, called Ergodex. And Ergo, if I got this right, is like a proof of work copy of Cardano, which is trying to be serving as a side chain of sorts, doing certain specific types of things basically. And they are building a DEX where you can bridge Ergo assets into Cardano and vice versa. So that's very nice in case one of them gets congested and they can like move out the trading into the another. And then there's also AMM protocol, which they're going to be building alongside with order book. So there's a lot of things that Ergo is basically building out. And here you can see different things. And I remember seeing a demo of some of these AMMs. I think it was Ergo or Adax that kind of showcased that. But some of these are really far out already. So once the smart contracts kind of launch, I think most of these DEXs are, at least one DEX is going to be up on probably on the first day. Once again, transparent team, so that's a big bonus. Now let's move out from the possible DEX players into social media. And there we have Somi. And they are were originally on Ethereum, and now they basically decided that we're going to be launching our token on Cardano. And basically, they are building this sort of interface that is kind of similar combination of Twitter and Facebook. I don't remember if they're going to be having videos on it. I know one of the people who is working on this project, and if I would basically have to bet my money on something, I would probably bet on these. I heard that they are working to be the first crypto company to have TV ads for their application, so that's pretty big. and it's going to be probably censorship resistant and everything like that. And they had a beta version already back in that, but now they kind of pulled out and are doing like different things again. So we are probably going to be doing a video about Somi at some point on the channel and seeing what it has basically offer, gonna have to do. And a lot of these projects that I'm talking about here today, I want to spend time individually on them on a separate video instead of like making this 20-minute long video. But let's move on. So next up we have NFTs. We have Artano, and basically Artano already has inbuilt builder for creating NFTs right now on Cardano. So in case you're basically interested in doing that, might be doing a separate video how to build them as well. You can use Artament, and there's going to be auctions. I think it's going to be also open, and they are kind of using the same model as the Wax is doing. So you can do inbuilt fees or like revenues. So basically there's like, where was the fees again? So 5% fee on the sales, first sale commission, that is. And then there's going to be a cut for commission for every subsequent sale of 2.5%. And that's basically like building an incentive for everything. And, you know, I think that's fine for the most part, the fee systems. And Ethereum has going to be staying away from the commission model and everything like that. But Artano could be de facto player, but I haven't really explored it that much, as the next one I'm going to be talking about, which is CNFT, standing for Cardano NFTs. And they already have like a marketplace. Obviously, this is not with smart contracts right now, so it kind of works that way. You deposit stuff, and then you're basically able to sell them, and depositing NFT to our address. So there's a counterparty risk here, obviously, but I sold one of my NFTs here, and it was pretty much smooth experience, and you can basically find any Cardano assets on this chain right now, and it seems to be kind of like the biggest community and the biggest marketplace right now, and I think it's going to be staying that way. There are some minor problems that I witnessed. They had some maintenance stuff like that around yesterday, but I am very bullish on CNFT for the long term. They do have a KYC thing here, which was a bit of a turnoff for me. So if I think it was where was it? You can also launch your projects here in the future, so that's very nice. But I think there's somewhere in the profile there is yeah, so there's 10,000 limit. So once you're trading over $10,000 or 10,000 euros, you have to do KYC or something between those lines. But I mean, not many are going to be doing that, so most of people are going to be fine. Moving on, we have Cardano-based stablecoin. There's actually a couple of these, like H of USD, and then there's this called JED. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And this is going to be, it's not going to be exactly like the Ampleforth, but any types of like, you know, algorithmic stablecoins, they are pretty exciting. And we're going to be seeing how this is going to be turning out a lot in other chains, for instance. And what they are basically building out is going to be interesting, how it's going to be turning out. This is going to be launched by the Input Output Global, so IOG, I guess, in this sentence. So this one is going to be also interesting. Going to be doing a bit more closer research on it once we're closer, but algorithmic stablecoins could be potentially in the future. But you have to kind of decide that, or are those going to be based on the dollar? Would you rather put it on yen or euro right now, which seem to be a bit more stable currencies? Then we have Cardstarter, which is basically a launch pad that is insured. And this is the only token that I own on the list right now. Not all of them obviously have, you know, released anything. And basically, it is insurance fund for communities in case there's going to be DeFi exploits, vaporware products, and stuff like that. They have an accelerator, which basically allows people to, you know, release different token projects on Cardano. And then there's like this sort of subscription things where you're going to be getting the lotteries. And these are people who are familiar with these launchpad projects are pretty familiar with the whitelists and everything like that. There's different tiers there and there. And this could be, you know, currently the token is on ERC20, and they're going to be, once the mainnet deployment happens, those are going to be exchanged to Cardano. So whatever, where going to be traded. Right now you can buy them on Uniswap, but at some point there's going to be that swap. And there's a couple of other, you know, projects which are going to be serving as launch pads, but this one I think has kind of, you know, Ocam fee is one, but this I think is kind of like the most known as of right now, but I could be wrong about that. Moving on, we have some lending platforms. So the first one is called Liquid, as I call it, like Liquidy. But yeah, so algorithmic non-custodial interest rate protocol built for lenders, borrowers, and developers. I love my lending platforms, long as they're very well coded and don't have any problems. And then there's going to be some types of Q tokens, which are bearing tokens that you supply, and then you can trade, and they are pegged into the underlying asset, kind of similar to what we have seen with some other platforms already. How much those rates are going to be interesting. Which coins are going to be listed there? Is it going to be filled with like ERC20 tokens, or more so from Cardano's own ecosystem, maybe Ergo in it, Cardano, and some of the Cardano stable coins once they're going to be launching? But this seems pretty professional, one to definitely look into. Another lending protocol is ADA, which is obviously named after Aave. And they are basically building out the same thing. They have a private sale currently ongoing. So this is probably something you can invest in also if people are looking into making money to the investment side of things. And so there's also a transparent team, which is good, which seems to be kind of like the meta with a lot of these projects that I am talking about here today. And here's a bit of a split of the tokens and everything, circulation and stuff like that. But I personally see this one a bit more promising out of the two, but that's my thoughts. I'm obviously myself going to be doing a bit more closer look to everything once we're going to be having those contracts launching. Then we have Indigo, which is basically a synthetic assets protocol. Synthetics is not something that I'm super familiar with. I know what they are, but I haven't really dabbled into them too much. And most people don't understand them or don't understand the potential there. Synthetics also have some regulatory problems, so that's a bit of a danger. We kind of seen Uniswap, delist some of these synthetic tokens. And there are entities in the real world who don't like synthetic assets. I'm all for free market, so, I don't care. And there isn't many. I think there's 2 or 3 projects which are going to be building synthetics on Cardano. So this is definitely going to be one of the very few, if not the only one that's going to be launching very, very soon on a Cardano blockchain. But this is something you definitely also want to take a look at. And finally, we have a game called Novelia. And this is going to be a form of a game. They're going to be building a game marketplace, and there's these sort of it's going to be a turn-based strategy game, so like hexagonal maybe or something like that. Here are some of the NFT arts, and I kind of like this style. So this sort of gothic horror type of a thing. Reminds me a little of the bit of the Dark Country, which we have covered on the channel before. But they're going to be building also some type of NFT wallet viewer. We definitely need those more in Cardano, obviously. But overall, I think this could be de facto game. I think there's going to be a lot more games interested in Cardano in future, but I didn't see too many being built right now. Something small stuff associated with these NFT collectibles. But that's kind of my rundown of these Cardano projects. Obviously, probably going to be doing another video about these later on once things have been launched and you can buy them. But until then, obviously, you can subscribe to the channel. You can send Cardano tips, NFTs, whatever you desire. And also, you can send me an email at lightliger@portamel.com in case you want to have some business deals done. You want your project to be featured on the channel. I'm more than happy to promote some Cardano projects always on the channel. But, you can send your business offers there. Thanks for watching. I will be seeing you guys next time.